Government looking closely at bringing injured children from Gaza to UK for medical care, says David Cameron. Brilliant idea, that, innit? I love that. Have you seen the state of the hospitals across the UK? I don't know what it's like down south, but have you been to the north east? We should at least be doing a one-for-one programme. If they're going to send Palestinians to UK hospitals, then I want the right to throw my granny and granddad out of a Chinook on the Gaza Strip, because they're bound to get better treatment from the Red Crescent and a bunch of pot-bellied Hamas fighters. I mean, at least they've got first aid kits. Walk into a hospital in England and they won't even give you a plaster. Okay, you might think this is hyperbolic, but it's a real story. That one is off Talk TV. I'll read you the story and then I'll even show you the footage of it coming right out of the horse's mouth. The government is looking closely at the possibility of bringing children injured in Gaza to the UK for medical care, David Cameron told Parliament. I suppose the only problem with my plan, one-for-oneing our citizens for theirs, is instead of the people in Palestine bringing you a bottle of Lucozade and a bunch of grapes, generally they bring you a nail bomb and a couple of hand grenades. The Foreign Secretary, now known as Lord Cameron of Chipping Norton. Yeah, he's a man of the people, isn't he? They're always from somewhere like Chipping Norton, aren't they? Are there any lords from Hartlepool? Lord Tommy McTavish from Middlesbrough? I doubt it. Cameron acknowledged Project Pure Hope, a group made up of doctors and healthcare leaders securing support and raising money to help cover the costs of this. Listen, I'm not being funny. We've got no money. We've got none. When you walk past a beggar in the street and he's there with his poorly fed dog begging for money, with his cap full of change, he's got more money than the British government has. At last count, we were in debt to the point of trillions of pounds. We haven't just not got any money. We're in more debt than 50,000 impoverished prostitutes with a gambling problem. That's how little money we've got. I'd give anything to be on zero, but we can't even manage that. The early work we've done is to say there's much we can do in the region and we should probably do that first. Helping in the field hospitals that have been established, helping to send medical teams to referral hospitals, being used in the region supporting organisations like Medical Aid for Palestinians. There he is, look. We'll make sure we throw money at the problem and then you spend it on RPGs. Cheers, lads. This is my problem with aid. We're terrible with it. We just throw it about willy-nilly. We don't monitor what it gets spent on. And if you can't guarantee what it's going to get spent on, probably some of it's going to get spent on very, very bad things, and therefore you shouldn't be giving them the money in the first place. Oh yeah, and here's that footage I promised you.
I want to thank my noble friend for that. We are looking at Project Pure Hope. We're looking very closely at this. Is it possible to take the people in greatest need and bring them to British hospitals, as we've done in the past?
Yeah, I wouldn't be so against it if you merely brought them to British hospitals. Two reasons. A, British hospitals were still treating British people, which they aren't. The waiting lists are longer than the elephant man's cock. And B, they never seem to leave said hospitals and go bloody home, do they? Look at the Olympic teams. When we had the London Olympics, there was 60 million people in the UK at the start of it and 61 million at the end of it. There's about as much chance of these people moving once they're here as a Frenchman has of moving if he lives next door to Europe's biggest brothel. It doesn't happen. It's a terrible idea. We can't afford it. We can't guarantee our citizens' safety from the random third world men they send over. We're in debt. To say we can't afford it makes it sound trifling. We're actually in trillions of pounds worth of debt. That's even worse than not being able to afford it. They won't go home. Our own citizens who've paid taxes for decades can't get seen to. And the cherry on top is the country that's bombing the ever-loving shite out of them has got more money than we have anyway. So make them pay for it. How's that sound? But what do I know? As you all know, I'm a northern working class man, so therefore, by definition, according to the tolerant liberal Guardian readers and BBC, I can barely read alright. I don't read philosophy or history. I've never heard of John Locke, or Adam Smith, or David Hume, or Isaac Newton. I don't know anything. So I'm going to be told what to do by much, much cleverer people than like Lord Cameron and Owen Jones. Yeah, that's what we should do. We should just listen to them. They've done such a good job in the last 20 years, haven't they? Totally logical to let them make all of our decisions and do all of our thinking for us. But that's just what I think. If you disagree, because you're definitely more switched on than I am, please let me know in the comments, preferably via the medium of an extremely condescending, arrogant comment, despite the fact you've still got Velcro shoes and struggle to get through any book longer than the Gruffalo. Alright? Let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching, and toodle pip. Cheers.